almost 50,000 individuals are supposed to join the Nairobi Stock Exchange, which is great, which tells you that the message which has been put outside there by the likes of Good Joseph and Ndindi Nyoro is actually reaching the masses. And this is how individuals are going to come out of poverty if they do it consistently over a long period of time. So I invite you, those individuals who are joining Nairobi Stock Exchange in 2026, I wish you all the best. Do your great thing. But I don't want to be a prophet of doom here. But there's a warning. I want to share some of my thoughts of those new individuals who are joining the stock market. If you have ever heard about a Ponzi scheme, about a market crash, a depression, let's talk about it. Now, I have come across a Ponzi scheme. If you may see a pyramid, is it a pyramid scheme? Let's say a Ponzi scheme. This I observed it in my adolescence stage. And this is what I want to relate with what is currently likely going to happen if most individuals go to invest in Nairobi Stock Exchange without taking much caution. You need to invest in Nairobi Stock Exchange. There are enough opportunities for every person to get great rewards if he or she invests consistently over a long period of time. But I need to share also the likelihood that most individuals may end up losing a lot of money in Nairobi Stock Exchange if they are not keen. And here is why. Now, I have talked about the experience which I had, that is a Ponzi scheme which I observed during my teenage years when I was a young primary school student there. Now, these most individuals who come from my area can relate, and I'm not bashing anybody here. I am just sharing what I observed, and I can relate that this can likely happen in Nairobi Stock Exchange if most individuals are not careful. During my teenage years, there was this individual who came up with a mushroom kind of a project where he almost recruited every individual to start planting mushrooms. But here, individuals were organized in groups and they can construct a house which was used to kind of house these mushrooms, and the individuals were promised to get rich. They were given an idea that if they were able to grow these mushrooms consistently to the standards, they would be in a position to export the mushrooms to foreign countries, the likes of the United States of America, Holland, and also Britain. If my memory serves me well, 1 kg of fresh mushrooms was selling at 650 shillings, and the dry one was the one which was most expensive. I can't recall the price. And most individuals were excited. They really were excited, and as usual, most individuals wanted to get rich. There were those individuals who were unable to join these groups, and they almost felt that the earth could open up and swallow them because they felt that this was a grand opportunity for them to get as rich quick as possible. But if I tell you that the end of that pyramid Ponzi scheme, if you may say, also was something which left most individuals frustrated, and they even didn't want to be associated with those projects because this Ponzi scheme never enabled individuals to get rich. The individuals who really got rich were the individuals who introduced the masses to the planting of the mushroom. And here I am not accusing any person. For example, as I mentioned that individuals like Good Joseph did a great job in enabling individuals to understand how the stock market works. We also have the current MP, Ndindi Nyoro. He also played a great role in opening the eyes of most Kenyans to the Nairobi Stock Exchange. These individuals are not benefiting in any way. Yeah, they may benefit if, for example, they share some of the shares they own. Some individuals may get interested to own also those shares. But there is no way these individuals are kind of benefiting directly because they don't own those companies which are listed in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. I am not accusing these two individuals. What I am saying, the mushroom project, which I observed in my area, the individuals who benefited were the ones who introduced the public to these projects because they directly were organizing and also providing the seedlings, also some of the materials and resources to these locals. And this now brings me to the whole issue of Nairobi Stock Exchange. Most individuals are excited to buy shares of Nairobi Stock Exchange. Do you know what goes into you buying shares of a given company? Do you understand how you need to go about reading the financials of a company and also observing kind of what may happen to this company in the near future? I don't want you to predict what is going to happen. You have zero chances of you doing that. But you also need to position yourself in such a manner that you don't buy into companies which are just Ponzi schemes, but in the real sense, they don't have the foundations which can provide you with safety of your resources. First of all, I have said now and again that you buying shares in Nairobi Stock Exchange, you are not just buying figures, you are buying a part of the business. And that's something which should guide you now and again as you move forward to invest in Nairobi Stock Exchange. You are likely going to reap great benefits if you really take much of your time, not the whole day in doing your research, but in understanding how Nairobi Stock Exchange works. Otherwise, you will find yourself in a so difficult position because you are likely going to buy some of the shares which individuals are excited. For example, you might go ahead and buy some shares which are selling 1 shilling, 2 shillings just because they are cheap, just because you can afford them. But in the real sense, they don't have the fundamentals which do support their existence as a business in the first place. So that's why you really need to be aware. If you read through the scandals which have happened in terms of the depressions and also the recessions in the stock market, they happen due to individuals being great optimists. They believe that the stocks would go up and up. But when they come crashing, they do so quick. That's why it's kind of a precaution. I don't want to scare individuals out of investing in Nairobi Stock Exchange. At the end of the day, you really need to invest in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. That's how our companies within the Kenyan market are going to find resources and money to expand and also be competitive in Africa as a continent, and even they may go global. And there are great opportunities in investing in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. For example, I need to give kind of not advice but just opinion of this how the the institutions which are listed within Nairobi Stock Exchange are doing well. For example, if you go forward and see how banks are doing great. You can also invest in good companies like the likes of Safaricom. We have KPLCs doing great. Kengen. We also have other great businesses which are doing amazing. So those are some of the opportunities which are available within Nairobi Stock Exchange. And if you invest, it's a great opportunity. It's easy. You starting in Nairobi Stock Exchange, it requires a small amount. You can't compare it to the amount which is required to start a real estate or a rental property. Joining Nairobi Stock Exchange is a great step which you have done, but you need to be careful. You need to invest with a lot of wisdom and know-how. But don't stop from investing just because you really don't know what's going on in Nairobi Stock Exchange. Just start investing as you continue to learn. Mistakes are going to happen. You should not kill yourself for that. Don't beat yourself just because you have made some mistakes. Even the likes of Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, those individuals have made mistakes. And even Dindi Nyoro, he may admit he has also made some mistakes before he arrives where he is. Even Good Joseph and other individuals I saw there's a given lady known as Ian Quali, something like that, who also discusses about investment. You can see if those individuals, maybe they have already shared, but they have made some mistakes in Nairobi Stock Exchange. So you are also going to make some mistakes, but you need to be aware that the stock market is tricky, and also most individuals may be excited that the stocks are going up, and you find yourself that you have been sucked into the system. But if you are unlucky enough, that system can also crash you. Thanks for watching. If you are really interested and watching the likes of this video, just don't subscribe, don't share, and don't do what? Don't like it.